Hi guys, how are you doing? Today I wanted to do a concealer smackdown, which I asked you guys if you wanted to see, but I haven't even uploaded that video yet, but you know what, I'm just going to do it anyways. So I have a ton of concealers. I'm going to take a few things out of this little pot because some of them aren't concealers, but majority of it is. So I just figured I would talk about them today and go through them one by one, especially for my fair-skinned girls out there and boys, you know, everyone, non-binary, whatever you are. If you are pale as fuck like me, this is for you. So yeah, I just wanted to go through and swatch them and talk about the formula of all these different concealers, and yeah, just tell you what I like, what I don't like, and if it's going to be light enough for you. So I have the NYX HD Concealer, also in the shade CW01, which is the lightest shade. And am I wearing this today? No, I wore it yesterday. I'm wearing a different one today, but I really like this one. Let me swatch it. It is kind of pinky, just a little bit, but it doesn't look too pink. So there's what that looks like. Actually, it looks yellow on screen. I never know. Like, sometimes I think my concealers are yellow, sometimes I think they're pink. I'm so horrible at telling you when my concealer, what undertone it is. But this is 01, and I really love this. It feels really nice. It has decent coverage. I feel like I've heard there's not as much product in this. It is cruelty free. This one does have a little bit less product than some other concealers, but I feel like it can be very good coverage, and it's only like a couple dollars. I think it's like $6 or something. So I really like this shade. And it might look a little darker than my hand, but it blends in really beautifully, and I really love it. So I think I'll just do all my drugstore ones first, just to talk about those. And I have this Better Skin Concealer in 10 Ivory, and I absolutely love this concealer. It's so nice. I'm wearing it today, even though I'm just wearing a little bit, and I'm barely wearing any foundation, because it was kind of just one of those days where I put makeup on so I could leave the house and not really to enjoy the process. But I absolutely love this. I love the color. I love the formula because it's really lightweight, really blendable. It just looks really good underneath the eyes. I don't notice a whole lot of creasing or anything like that. So there's what that one looks like. I feel like they look, maybe my hand's just lighter than my face, I don't know, but they look fine on my face. So that is the Better Skin Concealer from Maybelline. Next one I have is Maybelline one, the Fit Me Concealer, and this is too dark for me. It is in shade 10, the lightest shade they have, but like I said, too dark. The formula is okay. It's not my favorite just because I can't wear it on its own, but give you a little swatchy swatch. There it is. It's okay. I can't really use it. The next one I have is the Maybelline. Oh my gosh, I have so much Maybelline. I feel like I've done a couple like only drugstore stuff, and I feel like as I'm watching it, I'm just like Maybelline, Maybelline, Maybelline. Like, I think that's my favorite drugstore brand, because besides Colourpop, I always use Maybelline because I feel like their products in general are just really good. But this is in shade Fair, and it is the Age Rewind, but this one's a little pink toned, and I want the yellow toned one, but every time I go to get it, like, it's sold out in my shade. I also don't really like the applicator, but, and it's a much drier formula. So there it is. I feel like it's coming out and it's giving coverage, but it's just so dry that like you have like no time to really blend it out. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. It looks so dark on my arm, but it's not that dark. This is the Sephora one, which I'm just gonna count the drugstore, even though it's a little bit more expensive. It is $14, I believe, and it is in the shade Bavarian Cream 01, the lightest shade they have. I got this because my mom went in Sephora looking for the NARS Chantilly, and it was sold out. And like a girl there recommended her this concealer, and she was like, it's actually light enough for me, so I went and bought it just because my mom said it was actually light enough, and I'm always looking for a really light concealer. And as you can see, like compared to the other concealers on my arm, it is lighter than them. It could definitely be more coverage. I definitely build it up a lot, but it's also really lightweight, and I have worn it on my own. Like, I didn't even need to set it. I just put it underneath my eyes and like on a couple blemishes and left the house, and it didn't crease or anything. So I really like the lightweight formula that it has. But like if you're like going for like full glam, totally flawless airbrush skin, you're probably gonna want something with a little bit more coverage. But this is amazing for like carving out underneath your brow because it is so lightweight. Okay, this is the Avon Stick Concealer in 01 Fair. Okay, I haven't used this in a hot minute, but it's kind of very close to the shade of the Maybelline Better Skin one. It's really great for covering up any blemishes or like any like redness on your face, like not for underneath your eyes because it's a little thick for that, but I really like this one from Avon. And I feel like Avon barely ever gets talked about, but when I was growing up, like my mom only bought from Avon, so that's where like majority of my makeup was starting out from. Okay, I have one less drugstore one, and this is the e.l.f. concealer in Ivory, and it just looks like this. I actually have used their other concealer, the wand one, that has like two sides. One's like a brightening, one's a concealer, and I actually really liked that, but I've like used it all up and I haven't repurchased it. But I'm just gonna put this on top. This concealer is perfect for color correcting. So as you can see, I put it on top. I hope you guys can see on camera how it has like really peachy tones in it, and I like would use just a little bit on the like inner corner where you have that really darkness from your lack of sleep / hereditary circles, and this really does, oops, I just stuck my finger in. This really does color correct it, and it's only like $3, so it's decent. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get into high-end ones, which I'm not going to lie, they are just my favorite because I feel like their color is always like there's more shade range, and I really like the formulas. So I do have this NARS one in Chantilly. I have two open because, well, I opened the new one because I like thought I was finished with the old one, but then I watched a video about taking the stopper out of concealer, and now the old one has like a ton of products, so I'm not using the new one, but I'm using the old one again. Let me see which one this is. See how much product is still in there? I took the stopper out. It's amazing. So I'm just gonna swatch this. Might look a little funny since it is going on the hair on my arm, but that's okay. So as you can see already, that is the lightest concealer there. It's incredibly high coverage. It is a little bit thicker, and I do have a full video comparing this to Urban Decay one, but I really like this concealer either way. I still use it a ton. I love NARS in general, so yeah, I really love this, and I love using it in combination with the NARS All Day Luminous Foundation. So I have another concealer from NARS, and this is the Stick Concealer in Chantilly. Same color, just a little bit more full coverage, a little bit thicker. Using it for blemishes and all that stuff. And the reason why I bought this is just because it is light enough that I could use it no matter what. So there, you can see it works great during the winter for me, especially when I'm like extra pale and I could not get away with some of these shades. Next one I have here is the Urban Decay Fair Neutral, and I always wanted to try this this Naked Skin Concealer, and I always thought that like the lightest color wouldn't be light enough for me, but then I saw Fair Neutral and I was like, how long has that been there? I must have missed that. So basically it was the last day of the VIB Rouge sale for Sephora, and I just grabbed it and got it for like $22 or something like that, and I love it. It's really nice. It is a little annoying that like I feel like the packaging here, like it's so tight, like when you try to get it through, like when I first had a ton of product, like it would like splatter up a little bit, and it was really annoying. So there's that one. I also really like the smell of this one, which is kind of weird, but you can see it kind of has a little bit more of a yellow tone than the NARS one, but I really like that because it's kind of really brightening, and I love it, honestly. So good. So lightweight, so full coverage, great. So the last one I have here is one of the newer ones to my collection, and is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. And I mentioned this in my February Holy Grails and Fails as a fail because I could not get it to work for me. I don't know what, like I just wasn't feeling it. Like every time I used it, I just didn't like the way it turned out. But I have been using it more since then, and I think that it really makes a difference if you use your finger to really pack it on instead of using anything else. I think that it works beautifully with a finger. So I actually am starting to like this. It's definitely growing on me. I don't like the packaging because it's like a little roller thingy looking thing, and you have to squeeze it out when I would much prefer to just, you know, swipe it on. But that's okay. And honestly, you only need the tiniest amount. Like I just barely squeezed any out for this swatch. And see how light it is? It is the lightest concealer I have by far. If you are even paler than me and like you've tried some of these shades and they do not work for you, they're still too dark, this one is gonna work for you. And I don't think I mentioned the shade, but this is Y21. They do have a pinker toned line, and then they have like the yellow toned, and I went for the yellow, which is what this shade is. So overall, my favorite concealer is probably the Urban Decay one, and I'm really loving the Maybelline Better Skin, and also the NYX ones right now. Those are my favorite currently, but I mean, I rotate, I try new things. It could definitely change, but I think that you can really tell from my arm, and I've never swatched them all together before, but you can tell how like the drugstore ones are just so much darker compared to the lighter ones that you can find at Sephora. So I think that speaks volumes. I really wish that the drugstore would take the time to actually come out with shades that are light enough for even the palest, and obviously also even the darkest, because I know that they're lacking on that end of the spectrum also. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and hopefully you could see like a little bit of the comparison and see if something's light enough for you or it's going to be too dark. So that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.